You know, people come to YouTube in their downtime to relax. These are pretty stressful times. I bet you think you have enough to worry about. Don't let your guard down yet! We're being invaded! Oh, this is horrible. Advancements in technology have allowed us to travel all across the world.
Sometimes things come with us.
Plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and viruses all have the potential to be spread unknowingly by humans. What's the problem with plants, animals, and fungi moving? There are already plants, animals, and fungi where I'm going. And I like rabbits. Why can't I take my funny little rabbit to, let's say, Australia?
Because they're banned. Don't ask questions.
I'm just kidding. The pursuit of knowledge is very important. It's because they're overrated.
Rabbits are an invasive species. This means that when they travel, they get a little too comfortable. They settle in, have a lot of babies, and cause a bunch of issues. Remember when I said we didn't realize that sometimes things come with us? I left out the part where people brought over a lot of things for funsies, and they're a big problem now. When Europeans colonized other countries, acclimatization societies formed to introduce species that would improve local diversity or make it feel a little more like home. In Australia, they brought over sparrows, starlings, white swans, hares, partridges, deer, elk, carp, and even alpacas, and by no means is this the full list. Rabbits, for example, were in Australian waters as early as 1788 when the first fleet arrived, and they remained in captivity on the mainland without any problems until 1859, when a dude called Thomas Austin decided the introduction of a few rabbits could do little harm and might provide a touch of home in addition to a spot of hunting. This was not fine. When they figured out how not fine it was kind of already too late. In only 10 years, the rabbit population was so large that 2 million could be killed every year without making a dent. This all would be fine if they didn't outcompete native animals and decimate native plants. To top it all off, they cause some pretty gnarly erosion. Some other classic examples of, oh my god, why did we think that was a good idea? Are camels, water buffalo, foxes, and cane toads. Okay, so introducing animals is generally a terrible idea because they can actively wreak havoc. What can plants do? They don't move, they're generally unthreatening. To be honest, Australian natives are actually a lot scarier than pretty much any other plant. Scary or not, plants just so happen to be kind of a big deal. Side note, as far as I know, no ecosystem would be okay without fungi and bacteria, who are truly ecological heroes. And I don't know enough about them, so we're talking about plants instead. Plants are super important. They help manage the amount of water that can be stored in soil, regulate the fire regime, and provide the food and shelter that all animals directly or indirectly rely upon. Adding new plants can potentially alter these properties. Some grasses, like gamba grass for example, enjoy fires. A bunch of Australian seeds need fires in order to germinate, so these grasses seem like they fit in, right? Except that they change the fire regime so that fires are hotter and more frequent, and in some cases the natives that needed the occasional fire are burnt down before they have the chance to produce seeds. This can impact populations severely. Other plants, for example Myconia calvescens, increase the amount of erosion that occurs around them due to the structure of their roots. This works out well for them because erosion can cause landslides and other disturbances, and they produce a stupidly large number of seeds really quickly, so they're the first to sprout in these disturbed sites. In some places they're so successful that entire mountainsides are filled with little else. These examples are pretty extreme. In a lot of cases though, species evolve under wildly different conditions. Some environments are harsh in one way or another and force species to become good competitors. Introducing these strong competitors elsewhere can result in a loss of native biodiversity. These days, most people aren't violating biosecurity restrictions on purpose, but if you want to help protect your local ecosystems, there are a few things you could do. Obviously, keeping your pets indoors at night, disposing of garden waste appropriately, and generally trying not to spread invasive species is always a good idea. It can be really easy to spread invasive plants though, so be careful with the transportation of live plants, animals, and soil. Even residual mud on boots or vehicles are potential vectors. If you're especially passionate, try to learn how to identify invasive plants. If you come across them, some areas have funding for the control of particular plant species of concern, and they can help you out. That's all for me for now. Have a good one.